privileged, yes, to take all these roles and films and working with these great directors. Yeah, it's a kind of richness.
While we were putting this together, you had, I would say, you had specific ideas of which films you want to include in this tribute. Would you like to share your insight about how you chose certain films over others? You have such a huge filmography already, so what made you decide on these specific ones?
Oh, it was not a very reflexive choice, actually. Yeah, basically I love all these films. I could have chosen others. Probably I thought it makes a nice overview because it's there are also some movies I shot. I mean, not all of them in France, but abroad and with different directors and with international directors, which reflects my choices. So I had to make a choice, of course, because I've made many other films, so it's only a choice.
Would you like to go through a few of them and discuss what?
But no, you choose them and then I will go over them.
So let's do it like in a way of when you made them. And the oldest one in this tribute that we're having is of course Heaven's Gate, and that was back in 1980, and was like, it's a film that has a special importance and it has been recognized as a masterpiece, not in that time. So could you say something about that
Yes,
experience?
of course. Yeah, that was quite an amazing experience. I shot 7 months in Montana, and of course now the movie is equally famous for his failure as for his success. But the success came over the years, and when the movie first came out, it was really a big disaster, as the New York Times said, unqualified disaster. So of course that was not encouraging for people to see it, to watch it, and I think in a way Michael Cimino never really made it over from that failure, because it was a failure. It was, but the movie was, when over the years, whenever I watched the film, I realized to such extent the movie was really what we would call a auteur film. I mean, it was so personal and so didn't really. I mean, it did care about the audience, but the movie was so. There was nothing that made the movie really more for the public. It was very, very personal, and also probably the political content was hard to be heard at the time. And I think the movie would be even more interesting to be released now, because what's being said in the movie has even more. I mean, probably it would be more accepted now, but at the time it was released, the two being together, the movie as being so personal, and the political message was so strong and difficult to hear, made the movie impossible to really like at the time. Yeah.
When something
really, really nice, actually. I don't know if Lolita is still here, or maybe she went for a walk, because she loves being in Thessaloniki, and as much as I do, because it's such a beautiful town, and it's no, it was wonderful. It was our first time together. Then we did another film, still mother and daughter. We still have to do a film, not being mother and daughter. But yes, at the beginning, I remember that it was kind of difficult because we laughed a lot, because the situation was a bit strange for us to be in a movie together. So it took some time to be serious about it, even though it's a comedy. But it's a comedy with some kind of sharp angles, because it's a conflicted relationship between a mother and a daughter. The daughter is very classical, very serious, and the mother is very crazy, and so that was a really nice idea from Marc Pitossi, the director. Yeah, because it said a lot about generations, but not in a very unexpected way.
Yes.
Usually the parents are more the guardians of the, to be serious and the order, and in this film it's the other way around.
Mhm.
It was funny.
Going through this list of the 15 films, we see
I was privileged and lucky, but I always try to do films where the woman would be in the central position. I think it's the best way to really speak about a character in a film and not being behind a man or just being behind, but being on the front place. And you have more and more women directors in movie making in Europe and everywhere in the world, and of course that's always good news. And you have more technicians, you have more cameramen, more people in the making of the film, women in the making of films, and it's always a good news. But compared to time where women were really off, so of course we improved, but we still have to improve. Of course, you can always do better.
But you mentioned about being privileged or lucky, but I don't think it was that. I think that you were actively looking for these characters and these roles. Is that?
Yes, but you can seek for them, but you have to find them. So
They have to exist. Yes.
yeah, and I found them. So yeah, a bigger exposure. You have always a special relationship to these films, more than to other films that being less seen and loved. It doesn't mean that I like them less, but obviously you have certain roles like the piano teacher or Elle or these kind of movies. I can tell from what I hear. But then all of a sudden it's funny because you hear about a movie that you don't expect to be told, and so it makes it's the indication that movies travel in people's mind in many ways. Those who are much exposed and those which are less exposed, and it's kind of nice to also hear about them sometimes.